Hello, 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 my crafty peeps, and welcome to October's Humpday Handmade. And this is where me and my girl Ebony, who is sharing more here on the YT. You'll see a link to her channel down below. We get together once a month, and it's a 12-month collaboration, and we make something handmade. So let me show you what I use today. I use this Happy Haunting stamp from My Mind's Eye. It's an older stamp. 2019, and I just used this spider web. I used a Scrap Diva design die, and I just used the Candy Please, and this I think it's KF's Crafts, maybe from last year, but just this little die right here with the Trick or Treat candy stamp. So I'm going to show you what I created, and then after this it goes into the tutorial. And so here they are. This was inspired by KF's Crash. She's came out with the candy boxes, and I'm not saying I'm trying, I'm not buying any dies or anything like that. I'm just, using what I already got in silhouette or whatever. Anyway, these are the boxes I created. And so they are candy boxes, and you see here, I'm going to get the candy out. I just got some sour spooky treats, Mike and Ike's, in here. And put those back. And this is, I used some digital paper for this. And so you can see I just cut all these out of there, and this is where I did the that spider stamp. I did it in like some vintage photo, I think, stamp. It's light brown. And there's the Candy Please. I got some shaker in there, and this is where I used this KF's Crafts die, and I layered it. I'm trying to do some layering here. I layered it 3 times. This is layered twice. And then this is layered twice. Just to give it some dimension. The little hat up there. Like I say, this is a digital collection. I think it's from Paper Phenomenon, the Enchanted Shadows. Don't quote me, but I think that's what it is. So I got 2 of those, and then I have this purple one. So I got 3. These 2 already have the candy in it, because I am doing a. I'm actually gonna put this in a purple one because this is gonna be for a different one. But anyway. Neither here nor there. So do this, and then on the back I just used some of the leftover scraps to make the back cover, and I just did measure this. So I think this was 3 by 7 1/4, little white piece of paper, and then I put strips on there and cut around it. You know how you do that. And I did both of them like that with some strips. So that's the back of that one. And then this one right here, I did this with my little punch. I used some of the smaller pieces and just made this little collage thing. And the same thing, like with a 3 by 3 piece of paper. Not 3 by 3, 3 by 7 1/4, because this is 3 1/4 by 7 1/2. And then just, use some of the leftovers or the scraps to make this back right here. So this is what I created, and they're all decorated. Now, let's get into the tutorial. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to October's Humpday Handmade, that is hosted by myself and Ebony, who is sharing more here on the YT. I have a link to her channel down below. Get in my chair, right? So, let's get into it. I am making a candy box. I got the inspiration from the candy boxes that is being put out by KS Craft. And so I didn't want to get the die. So of course I just did my own measurements. So I got a Halloween swap coming up. So let's get started. Get my trimmer. You'll find these measurements down below in the comment section. So piece A. For piece A you need 2. You need 2 3 1/4 by 7 1/2. So I'm going to cut at 7 1/2. And then I'm going to cut 2 3 3/4. Here and right here. I'm gonna label those A. For piece B, I need a 7 1/4 by 5 3/4, and I don't think it's gonna give me my 5 3/4. Nervous. I'm going to get this one, but I'm going to do it this way first so I can get this 7 1/4. And And then my 5 3/4. There. B. And C is 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. So I can probably get it out of this piece right here. So I'm going to do my 4 1/2 by 3 1/4, which is there. So that's AB. This is C. And my D piece, I just had my piece of acetate right here. Okay. And for my D piece, I just need a piece of acetate that is 3 by 4 1/4. So I believe this is already 3 by 4 1/4. Right there. Okay, so I don't need this. Get my scoring board. And all I need to score is my B piece. Put my B piece with the 5 3/4 across the top, and I'm going to score it 1/2 inch and 1 1/4. I'm gonna skip over because I'm still on my short side to 4 1/2 and 5 1/4. I'm going to turn to my long side, which is going to be the 7 1/4. And I'm going to do the 1/2 inch again. And then 1 1/4. Because I'm making a box. That's all I need with that. And so here is my B piece. I'm going to fold and burnish the score lines. The 1/2 inch and the 1 1/4. And of course y'all saw I'm doing this Acetate backwards. I've already showed you, so I'm gonna put 2 videos together. So you already saw what the box looked like, and this is me just putting it together. Okay, so this is what you have right here, and as you can see here, I'm a number 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. We only need over here. We only need number 1, and over here we only need number 2, just because of the way I numbered them. Okay, so we only need this large one that's right here. So I'm gonna get my scissors. And I like to go up this side. So I'm gonna go up on the other side of the score line so I can take it off. And I'm gonna do the same for the second one. So now this is what I have. I do not need this small one, so I'm going to take both of those off. So now I have these 2 in the middle. I don't need that bottom one, like so. And then I am just going to taper a little bit on both sides and cut a little bit more. And that's all I need. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to do the same over here. Right here in the front, I'm going to go over to the side of that score mark so I can take that whole thing off. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come closer to the 1 because, of course, that's what I want to take off. Take off both of those short ones. Like so. This bottom one I don't need. And then I'm going to do that little taper. Right there, right there. So now I got this little shape. I'm going to take a little bit off there. Okay? And there we have it. Throw these in the trash. So I'm going to put a little glue on this so these can be starting to dry while we get the rest of this together. So I'm just going to make the box. Make sure that it's nice and squared on both sides. Take a minute for that glue to set. So. having those score lines, making sure you burnish those pretty good will help it try to stand up a little bit. Okay, it's starting to grasp a hold of what I wanted to do. Just get those a little bit better. It's going to be just like that. So we have that part, and so let's get those two A pieces. Let's go ahead and glue them two together. And these I just did two of them, but I mean, if you're using like 110 cardstock or something like that, you could probably get away with one. But I just want the back of mine to be sturdy. So I am doing two of the A pieces and just gluing them together to give some a little bit more stability. They stand up better. So it's just a preference, I'm guessing. I'm going to put those two together, get some of that glue off of there. Making a mess. So I'm just going to glue the two A's together. Make sure they're nice and even. Yeah, I got a, excuse me, got a stuffy nose. I guess it's allergy season here. Okay. So I'm going to let that sit here for a second. Got that. We got our acetate piece. Let me move my stuff over here. So last but not least is we have our C, and our C is going to be our window here on the front. So to do that, I'm going to take my ruler. You might have a different, but I'm using this old Tim Holtz ruler. And I am going to me, it's a back, like, you know, depending on the way you cut it, you might not see it like that. So turn on the back. And I am going to make a 1/2 inch mark all around the border on the back side of this piece of PC. And there. So now I got that 1/2 inch all the way around there. And now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to cut it. And it just makes it easier so I can see my little two marks up here so I know what a 1/2 inch is at the top and bottom. So I'm just cutting along that line, stopping at that 1/2 inch mark that I made at the top and bottom. So I'm going to go from right there. So I don't go down too far. So I know I have a 1/2 inch all the way around. So to this side, stop, 1/2 inch mark. And last but not least, go right here down to that 1/2 inch mark. I'm going to take this part out. And this is what I have. So now I have the piece for the front. Alrighty. So now we have that. We have this stuffed and set for a minute. So we know we need to put this on here. So we need to get some matting pieces. And so I am doing some scraps. Just to use up this paper I have. So as you remember, let me get the box out. These before they've decorated, y'all. This one I have two separate pieces of paper. But this one right here is one continuous piece. So I'm going to, but as you can see, you can't see on the sides of these. So these could be a little bit shorter than the, this is what, 3 1/4, so the 3 inches that you would usually need. So I'm going to use this piece right here, is what I am using. Now it's taller than this one, so I just need to cut it a little bit. Put it down the sides, so it can, and what was this? 4 1/2, I think this 4 1/2. Yep. So I'm probably gonna do 4 1/4 on here. Just again, let's do 4 3/8. It don't make a difference, only a little bit more, huh? So let's just do the 4 1/4. Just to be on the safe side. So I'm gonna do that to 4 1/4. Alrighty, so we're going to have to do some other stuff here, so we'll just hit that there for now. And then I'm just going to put this piece down, centered right there in the middle. And y'all see my new glue gun? Not glue gun, but tape runner. I got these at a garage sale with like 15 extra rolls of glue. Now my husband cleaned this for me because it was, you know, glue all over the place. Well, not glue, tape, the tape all over the place. And it was like 3 of them. And y'all will not believe how much I paid for them. $2. $2. Snatched it up. Snatched it up and ran to the car. I just got my B right here. Let me, just in case it show a little bit. Let me just erase that where I put my letters at. All right, so I'm just going to try to center this right here in the middle. Now, as a reminder, you're not going to, as you can see from my example, you're not going to see around the edges on the inside because of that window right there. So I just want to be able to see it through the window. So I'm just going to try to center it here the best I can here in the middle. Right there. Seems like it's a good place for it. Make sure that gets down. Okay. And it's going to go right on here. Like so. So let's maybe glit this glue down so it can start to set while we get the paper for the other one. So I'm just going to put some glue on here. Like so. Top, bottom, make sure I get in here. Get my A piece. And I'm just going to center this on and make sure it's even at the bottom. And center it here in the middle. Even though it should be the same size. So just make sure it is squared off correctly. And I'm going to get a box. I got to get another box of candy. Just to make sure that it fits. Help press down those sides. Get everything nice and cute. Okay. So let that sit there for a second. And start to set. And while we're doing that, we're going to get this side piece. So we have this right here. We know it's 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. So we need to get a piece of matting paper. And I thought I had one over here. Okay, this is, I think, as I'm using this. No, did I use the wrong piece of paper? Probably story of my life. But let's see what else. Oh no, let's use this one. Here we go. So I got this piece right here. So I need this to be 3 by 4 1/4. Okay, so let's go ahead on and get our 3 by 4 1/4. Okay. So we got to make sure it fits on here and make sure I don't lose this. Matter of fact, let's just go and put this on here now before I misplace it. So I'm just going to, and this is my acetate piece. So I'm just going to put tape around the perimeter of my acetate piece here. So I can get it put on here before I lose it. So I got that all around there. Like so. And I'm going to put this on the backside where I made the pencil marks on my little piece of paper here. Even though you shouldn't be able to see the pencil marks besides. You might see a little bit depending on how I cut them. Okay. I'm going to turn this over. I'll stick this on here. My little acetate piece. Because this is the back of this. Trying to wonder why my tape chasing me around the table here. Let's get that on there. So that's ready. We got this piece. I'm going to turn this to the back. And this piece I am going to do at 3/4 of an inch. Not 3/4. 1/4 of an inch. All the way around. Before I did the 1/2 inch. And now I'm going to this 1/4 inch mark. And I'm going to do that all the way around. And I am doing the matting piece for the window. 1/4 of an inch. And I always like to test it. So I'm going to get my little piece. And I sit this up against it so I can, and you can see where the line's going to fall when I cut to make sure that it's, you know, I can see the black on both sides. I'm going to do both, even though I know. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go back with my blade here, and I'm going to cut the same thing I did with the 1/2 inch, but I'm just going to do it with the 1/4 inch so that the lines tell me to let me know that I'm 1/4 inch away from the edge without having to guess. I'm doing from line to line. 1/4 inch to the side. And last but not least, this side. So then I'm just going to take that middle part out. So, and get my little piece here, and this should go right in there, and you see it's evenly matted all the way around. Let me just, because I pulled this little piece off, so it's a little piece hanging. Right there. So this will go right there. Ta-da! Now, so we got that. We need to put some, here we go. Because we're putting sequins, so I'm going to put this all around the perimeter of this piece. I'm making sure they touch because I don't want none of the sequins to fall out. All right. Put this here. And last but not least, now, I've noticed that when I do this, this is white. My paper is black, so I'm going to get my black marker here. And just mark the outside so that I don't see this white. I need to get me another marker the same white. That way when I put this on, you will not see. It just messes up the whole scary aesthetics of it, huh? I'm just going to do this here. And I could do it in the middle where you can see it, but I do not. And I'll tell you what I mean here in a second. So, not probably good to do this side because when you see the window, you can't see this one. But I thought, oh, maybe this one. Because I put this one closer. See how you can see it on here? You might not be able to see it on this one. Because I put it further out where this one is in, like here. Yeah. Well, I think I used different tape on there too. Neither here nor there. So let's put this on. I'm going to use this same tape. Just to put it here. I could use some glue. But I have the tape sitting here. Ain't nothing to it. Ain't nothing to it. And I do have a little bit of sequins left. Alright, so now we're coming down to the wire. So we have this. Take this. It's going to go on there. And then we just got to get those two pieces right there. And y'all know what it's, you know what it is. We gotta call it a day. So let me get this on here. Let me see what I'm at here. Oh, okay. I can't even see. I ain't got my glasses on. 20 minutes. 20 minutes to make a box. It's all good. It's all good. Just hopefully, I ain't even going to say it out loud. It's going to tick me off. So let me just get this on here real quick. Get this on there. I'm going to stick these little bit. I'm not going to do this part because I'm not for sure this camera, y'all. And that's just getting another little piece of some of your scraps, because I have a lot of scraps over here from this particular paper pad that I'm working with. And y'all will see the reveal video coming up here now. Knowing me a couple of weeks. So I'm going to take this tape off of here. Maybe. Maybe not. So, and I do put a little dab of glue in there. Just across the tape itself. Like so. Make sure it's turned the right way, and then make sure it's even at the bottom, side to side, and stick it down. And press. Now I'm going to put that box back in there because once again I can use that to help get that press down. Give me some something hard up under there to get the pressure. So it started to grab a hold. Now this one is weak. And then, like I say, just two pieces for there. Not that. because I will need something else. Look at there. I could put that there, and I am, because it just is the other side of that heat. So I am going to do this piece here, just because it works out. Just because it works out. Alrighty. And that is it, folks. Let me stick that on there. That my brilliant plan, like I thought of it myself. So then I'm just going to take another little piece. I could just take this, cut it to mat up there. And that is it. That is it.